Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and today we're going to talk about Demon Theory. This book is so scary that I put on my cross earrings just to protect me. I'm just kidding. This book is it is kind of scary, but it's not like that kind of scary. But it is written by Stephen Graham Jones. If you've been to my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm reading through all of Stephen Graham Jones' catalog. Everything that he's written that I can get my hands on, I'm trying to read. And so Demon Theory was just one of those books. And I got it from the library, and I hate that I don't still have it here in physical form because it's such a cool book. So I'm going to read again what this says because it's written in such a cool way. So I'm going to read to you what the synopsis says about it, and then we'll talk about what that means. So first of all, it says, a psychological tale of cinematic horror. Okay. On Halloween night, following an unnerving phone call from his diabetic mother, Hale and 6 of his med school classmates return to the house where his sister disappeared years ago. While there's no sign of his mother, something is waiting for them there and has been waiting a long time. Written as a literary film treatment littered with footnotes and obscure nuances, Demon Theory is even parts camp and terror, combining glib dialogue, fascinating pop culture references, and an intricate subtext as it pursues the events of a haunting movie trilogy too real to dismiss. That's exactly what it is. It is 3 movies. So it's a movie trilogy written in book form, and they're saying written as a literary film treatment. So it is written as in like Hale walks over and answers the phone. The camera shot, like it describes where the camera is, and when he says something, there are footnotes everywhere. And it's like, this is a reference to the Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, this is a reference. There's just so many of them throughout this whole book. So many very cool references. It just has so many little anecdotes like that where I spent a lot of time checking all of the references and all of the footnotes. I mean, I didn't do it for every one of them because there really are a ton of them. And it took me a minute at first to just get into the like writing style of this is a movie, but it's also written down. Like I'm having to visualize it in my head, which I really could visualize it in my head. It was so good. So the first movie, they are at the house, at Hale's house where he grew up, and his mom is not there, but something is there. And at the end of that book, it cuts off and what we know of as kind of like a cliffhanger because that's how these movies work. And movie 2 takes place with the same characters in a hospital. And at first you're like, wait, is this before or after what happened in the first movie? And we kind of figure that out as we're going. And we are introduced to a couple of new characters that we didn't meet in the first one. Or actually we saw them in the first one. And it'll even tell you like, here's where he was in the first movie, or standing in the same place as he was in the first movie, or whatever. So we do meet them again. And then book 3 takes place in, well, multiple places. So I don't really want to give it away and say where we are if we're back to one place or the other. So anyway, it is a complete trilogy that tells a story of kind of what happened to Hale as a kid, and what happened to his sister and how she went missing, and his mom and dad and kind of what happened with them. There are definite supernatural elements at play in this as well. And so, I mean, I guess there are like that in every horror thing. Like Freddy, he attacks people in their nightmares, but he's actually attacking them in real life. I mean, like they really get injured even though it's their dream. So it's kind of similar along that same vein. Like Jason can't die even though he's been killed a ton of times. And so anyway, that same kind of supernatural thing, not like, oh, they can suddenly fly or something, but just the same kind of supernatural things that happen in a lot of these slasher movies. And so that is what it is. And I just had such a good time with it. Like the banter with the characters, the fact that you're with these characters through all 3 movies, even if somebody dies in one movie, they might be back in another movie because that part of that movie might take place in the past or in the future. Like you just never know who's going to pop up and who you're going to see. It was just such a fun read because I just felt like I was watching a movie the whole time I was reading it. I really, really enjoyed it. So if you have read this, let me know. If you've read a Stephen Graham Jones, I want to know what your favorite was that you've read by him. If you've read more than one thing. If you've only read one thing, what was it and how did you like it? Maybe also tell me what your least favorite thing is that you've read by him. I think so far my least favorite thing is Growing Up Dead in Texas by him. I think that's my least favorite. I mean, I still didn't hate it, but it's just not my favorite. Okay. Oh, I do have to tell you this story. So I read My Heart is a Chainsaw with Brandy, and I put my review of it up on Goodreads. And one day, just minding my business, and I have a notification, and I was like, oh, what's this? And I clicked on it, and it said, Stephen Jones liked your review of My Heart is a Chainsaw. And I was like, Stephen Jones? And I clicked on it. Stephen Jones looks a whole lot like Stephen Graham Jones. And I started freaking out. And I messaged Brandy and I was like, Stephen Graham Jones just liked my review on Goodreads. Like all the emojis of my eyeballs being big. It was really funny to me. So I don't know why I freaked out so much about that. Like, he is a human, and I'm sure he gets notifications when his books have been reviewed. But still, I was freaking out about it. Okay, that's it. That's my Stephen Graham Jones story. That's all I have for you today. Let me know if you want to read Stephen Graham Jones. I have some options, opinions on maybe where you should start, or depending on what you want and what you like. So let me know. I would love to talk about him down below. Or anything else that you want to talk about. You know I like to chat down there. I will see you in my next video. Bye.